Yeah, pretty. You fold it. You fold it.
That's actually with the whole breakfast cereal thing? Or were you involved in that? Yeah.
All right, so I've got flour and salt in here. Just a little blitz. And I have my cold butter. Little pulses. I just want to make sure it's mixed. So now I can start putting the water in. Ice cold water. So I might put 5 in here. I'll start with 5, and then I'll add more if I need to. But I never put in the whole amount of water right off the bat. So I can see that this looks kind of dry, a little too dry. And if I push my fingers together, it doesn't hold together. So I have to do a little bit more water. Just 1 tablespoon at a time now. I can see it starting to come together. See, like that? And I think it's like almost there. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Don't keep pulsing it until it forms a ball like you see on YouTube. This is what you want. It's just like, look at that. That's gorgeous. So nice. Just slightly damp. Holds together. Aw, very nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour all this out on plastic wrap and clean the blade off, but I don't want any of this goo, this like glue goo. I don't want any of that. And I want to make 2 balls out of this, but they're not going to be even balls because the top needs to be bigger than, no, the bottom needs to be bigger than the top. So I got 1 ball going. Oh, look how nice that holds together. Yay, it's going to be good. If it holds together too well, then you put too much water in it and your crust might be a little bit tough, but there's no going back. You can always add water, but you can't add flour at this point. This is it, you're done. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap these in plastic and stick them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to rest, and it releases the gluten and makes it easier to roll out. In the fridge. All right, I always use wax paper to roll. It's just easier to flip the dough. So tiny bit of flour, just a little dusting. Off we go. I don't usually roll to the ends. You see that the wax paper, it makes it so much nicer to roll. Then as the ends, you can see start to crack. So I usually put my hand here and then roll, and that'll close off the little cracks there. That. So shove it in, and then don't roll to the very end. You'll feel it with your fingers. And the other thing I like to do is flip it. You can see how the other side's doing, and then you'll see it start to crinkle a little bit like that. The paper starts to like crinkle, so we need to pull this off. See how it's starting to stick a little bit, so add a little bit more flour. So I'm just going And put a little more sprinkle of flour on here. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'll pop this in the refrigerator while I roll out the top. Okay, I got the bottom rolled out. See that there? So I want to put the top just so that I can make sure that I've got enough room. Saving all the scraps, by the way. The other nice thing about using a wax paper is that you can pick it up and like really feel across here if your crust is if your dough is even. Okay, so loosen the wax paper. Okay, so this is loosened, and the reason why I loosen it is because when I put it on top of the pie, that it comes off really nicely. Okay, so this is the other kind of fun thing about having a wax paper. Whoopsie! About having a wax paper is put the rolling pin here, dump it like that. We can just lay it down. Okay, now I'm gonna trim it again. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pinch the two edges together all the way around. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is fold this under like that. Okay, so now it's all folded, and now we need to crimp. So this is the way Nanny taught me. So you take your two fingers like this, push this one down, and you do a little boop. Let's see if I can get this. Two fingers. This finger pushes down, and these kind of squeeze towards that a little bit like that. And then you can kind of clean it up a little bit. If you want to do a little twist, if you want it to make it look like an angle, then you can kind of go back in and kind of twist your fingers like sideways like that, like that. A couple of vent holes. I don't always do an egg wash. If you want that nice shiny look, you can do an egg wash, and then you can then sprinkle it with sugar. I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with sugar. Personally, I'm not a humongous fan of the super shiny look, but it's pretty, but I just don't bother with it. All right, ready to go in the oven. See you soon. All right, so for the cinnamon, for the little scraps, I wind up folding this into a square and rolling it out against the edges of the square. And I wind up with a nice square piece of scrap pastry. Flip it because I want to release the other side. We've got a little bit of milk here, or you can use egg. So if you use the egg wash for the top, you can use it for this too. I'm gonna rough up the edges with the milk. Cinnamon sugar. Okay, a little bit more. And we'll take this to the edge that we're gonna start the roll. More sugar. That looks good. So I'm gonna start rolling. Could have gone the other direction, but this is gonna make a big fat roll. You can kind of pinch the edges closed if the sugar's coming out, and then lift. Oh, it looks so good. All right, ready to go. Yeah, yes. Look at that. Look at that crust. Crusty. Yum. And then These came out so good. So good. So you get to munch on these. A little snacky. Because you know you can't wait until pie time. There you go.